All right. Hey, and welcome back to yet sort of another build video. I know we've had a lot of these on the channel over the past few videos. It's just kind of the way it goes. I tend to just film whatever we're working on at the time. However, this is not a full build video from scratch. This is more of an upgrade. So I have with me a longtime friend of mine, Tyler here. This is his current system that he has. He's been having some issues with it. We got a bunch of new parts to put in and give it a nice late 2022 refresh. So I think the best thing to do is just let him explain what his issues were as he explained them to me, and then we'll kind of go over some of these parts and stuff as we put it together.
I'll be going into a game and all the buildings are like clay.
Specifically with Warzone, you said?
Specifically with Warzone. My frames will drop, and they drop right down from 20, they'll spike back up to 130, then they go down to 60, and it's just really frustrating to play. So I've contacted Kyle. He's gonna help me with a slight upgrade, I guess you could say.
Slight, it's a pretty good overhaul. We've done a little bit of investigation before filming this, where we have a pretty good idea of what's going on. And honestly, the buildings looking like clay artifacting when he's loading into Warzone, we definitely don't need all these parts to solve that problem. I think we have a pretty good idea what's causing that, but he did kind of want a bit of a visual upgrade. He's had the same case for a couple years, a little more gaming performance. So let's dive in and see what we see. So as a bit of a plot twist today, we're gonna have you build it all. How confident are you that you can handle this upgrade?
Solid 5%.
5%?
5%.
Wow, okay.
Never built a PC ever.
But you've watched lots of videos.
Watched lots of videos. Some knowledge, not a lot.
Unfortunately, that won't help you today, so let's just dive right in. So first thing we did is we just brought it aside quickly to blow all the dust and stuff out of it. Now, in Tyler's defense, he is doing some home renovations right now, so a lot of that was just drywall, but definitely some of that was neglect.
Some of it,
but
sure.
Mostly drywall.
Mostly drywall.
So first thing we gotta do is tear this thing apart, because we're gonna be reusing the motherboard, the RAM, and the power supply. And I think that's it.
Yep.
So I will pass this off to you.
Awesome.
And I'll let you take the wheel.
Error. Are these just like not like bolted in? Why am I?
Well, that's your GPU, so we gotta undo.
Oh.
Just be careful that if the GPU drops a little bit when you take that second screw out. It shouldn't fall out by any means, but it's just.
Oh.
So there's a clip on the motherboard you have to release. So as you're pushing that clip in, it kind of wiggle and gently pull the GPU out. You shouldn't need a ton of force.
Interesting.
Now the other thing we can do, because it's hard to get your hand in there.
Take off the cooler.
Something that's plastic, not metal, and use that end of it and try to fully seat that release clip. So while you're pushing like that release clip down, wiggle and pull the GPU out. Yeah, you don't want to let the GPU go. So what we're gonna do really does not want to release. Wow. Wow. Hopefully the rest of it goes a lot smoother for you. Good save, good save.
So, I'm not familiar with taking PCs apart. This is probably my first actual PC. So my guess is to take everything off the motherboard, because I've seen how they go in. I'm guessing it comes out the way it goes in. I hope I'm right. This is when you put in the 10 hours later clip.
10 hours later.
Wiggle, more wiggling than pulling.
That does not sound good.
No, I know. But internal USB 3 connectors are.
There's just fans. This is a fan.
Yeah, so you got one header for the fan.
Can we not just slide the whole motherboard out now and then just unclip that when we have room, or what?
Sort of.
What's your...
Well, I can see two things that are going to kind of stop you from taking this board out cleanly. I see you also have this set up as an intake fan. It's an interesting decision.
My buddy at Ultra Precision Tech, Kyle, set this fan up for me.
Yeah? Was there why would I have done this way?
I don't even know where I'm starting.
I think you took this fan out at some point, because it's only got 2 screws. Kyle at Ultra Precision Tech does not put 2 screws in a fan. So obviously at some point you took this rear fan out and now you're trying to frame me for putting it in backwards. Good news is you only have half the screws to take out.
And one less plug.
Need side cutters or anything? No?
Not plugged in.
Perfect.
Now we just slide the motherboard out? Question mark?
Well, if you want to make your life easier, I would also take that back fan out as well.
Okay. Oh yeah. Not plugged in.
There should be 3 in the top, 3 in the middle, and 3 on the bottom.
Oh, we got it.
We got it? There you go.
Nice, mate.
Okay, so somehow I missed that this had a CX750M in it. So Tyler's getting this RM1000X, which is a fully modular gold-rated power supply. You might as well just finish pulling that power supply out because it's pretty much all the way out anyway.
Close your eyes.
Danger, cutting towards the cable. This guy's a weapon.
It's called precision technologies.
Get that little octopus out of the way. Only 2 screws in this one. I will say that was me, because I always used to do that. In SSDs, I always used to just put 2 screws because I didn't have a lot of these screws. The times have changed.
Now you have a lot?
Now I have a lot of every screw. All right, and the last thing you want to get out of there is your hard drive. Whatever you do, don't let that fall, because hard drives do not like being dropped. Magnet on that screwdriver is just weak enough to not be useful. Okay, so we have Tyler's old PC actually just set up in test bench mode here, and we've gone ahead and replicated the issue he's talking about in Warzone. So we'll show you what's going on here. So as he's landing, you can see down here a bunch of textures were kind of late loading. There's supposed to be a shelf here. It's missing. And in this room, like, there's no furniture. Everything's just like floating. And if we look at Task Manager, we can see the D drive is just smoked at 100%. My theory is that it's just taking a long time to load like less critical assets in. Like the doors obviously are important, the stairs, things like furniture and stuff, it's rendering in later because the hard drive's just not fast enough to deliver all the relevant information at once. Same in this room, you can see a bunch of furniture missing. Supposed to be a desk here. Oh yeah, his gun's not showing up here. He's got his gun out. Oh, there it is. So at this point, pretty much everything is loaded in. It looks like all the assets, like all the furniture and stuff's all rendered in. So if we pull up Task Manager again, what we can see is the hard drive's not sitting at 100% anymore, especially if we go off window. The hard drive's dropped down quite a bit, but even in game, it's not staying flatlined at 100%. We did have those dips. My theory is that having Warzone on this old spinning hard drive is the issue. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put his new 2 terabyte, his new Samsung 9, we're gonna put his new 2 terabyte Samsung 980 top. He's dying. He's done. We're gonna put Warzone on the NVMe and see if this problem still happens.
Always cut towards yourself, folks. That was a struggle. Oh yeah, just
This guy.
mock the box. This sucker here?
Mm-hmm. These drives go in kind of weird. They got to go in at like almost a 45-degree angle.
Slip in.
And then lay flat.
Down at the bottom or at the top? I thought they're usually at the top, no?
It's at the top, yeah. To make sure all the pins are covered fully. Like, yeah, is the screw hole line up?
Yes, but no screw.
Yes, it does, but no screw.
No screw.
Okay, let's get you a screw. Now I have a lot of every screw. So just try to line it up with the pegs pretty close because you won't be able to slide it once that thermal pad makes contact.
I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
We're there. Professional. Precision technologies.
Okay, we're still going test bench style here. Tyler has swapped in the new 980 Pro and we've just moved the Warzone install onto the NVMe M.2 drive. Okay, so as we're landing in here, we notice that assets and stuff are like loading way better. So you can see the desks are rendered here. Everything's looking pretty normal. All the shelves, everything's loaded. And if we pull up Task Manager, what we can see is our F drive, which is the 980 Pro, is literally sitting around 0%. So we're not maxed out there anymore. So now, in a quest to get more utilization out of the graphics card, just kind of out of our own curiosity, we're gonna go ahead and swap in the 5800 X3D and leave everything else the same, see what that does for frame rate, and see if that gives us more GPU utilization while playing Warzone.
Keep it off camera.
What do you mean, where does it go?
Okay. I just want to leave this like that.
Danger. Okay, wait. The trick with these coolers, it's only held on by 2 spots. There's a metal thing on each side that goes down and it clips in. So unclip those from the bracket on the motherboard. Release. Very careful with those pins. They bend if you look at them the wrong way.
Don't look at it.
Don't look at it. Pins.
There we go. Boom. This is just a test, right?
That's right.
I've seen people do straight down too. What does Kyle do at Ultra Precision Technologies?
That's a trade secret.
Good. I'm gonna find out later.
That's right. You're gonna find out when you're...
Am I just sending this or what?
Yeah, just send it. You just want to make sure that this back arm clips in. You can kind of do it after, so just set it on there pretty straight. Okay, there, I'll hold it. You just clip it on.
There we go.
All right, now just do the other side.
It's already on.
It's already on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your problem.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, bud.
Dialed. Okay, she's clipped in too.
I didn't think we were going to be doing so much testing. Otherwise, I probably would have got a better test apparatus than this piece of wood, but is what it is. Okay, so we're back up and running with the 5800X 3D installed in the system. That's the only thing we changed this time. Performance is roughly about the same, to be honest. We're getting around 120, 115 FPS. It really depends on the scene and some of the settings. But the new theory that we have looking at video RAM, if we look at our dedicated GPU memory usage, we're sitting at 7 out of 8 gigs of RAM. So I have a new theory because our CPU is really only sitting about 30% usage in game, and the GPU is still sitting down around 11%. I think we're just being held back by the VRAM possibly at this point. So I just think the next logical step is let's swap out the GPU. All right, so we got it set up now with the 1000 watt power supply, the 3090, and what we're seeing surprisingly is not that much difference really in frame rate. We're still getting around and then I decided to use my brain. So we've gone ahead, done the BIOS update, and now what we see, a pretty massive increase in frames. We see anywhere between 150, 160 frames now. If we actually go into Task Manager, we can see that a lot of these cores are actually being utilized 100%. Like this one's completely smashed, this one's smashed, which is a good thing. Before, the hardware wasn't being fully used. However, the GPU is still only showing 11%, but what we also found out is that that's actually reporting wrong, because if we go into hardware monitor, we can see the max GPU utilization has been 97%. So what we're going to do now is get all this stuff put into the height Y60 case we have, reinstall Windows, put Windows 11 on it, do all the updates and everything, and it should be good. So I was just taking this apart to put it in the new case, and I just wanted to show spread results of that messy X thing that Tyler did. Not bad, not bad at all. Just missed a little bit in that corner, but kid had run this for years and had no problems. Okay, so a few days later, I have Tyler back and the PC is now finished. So what originally started being like, let's watch Tyler upgrade his computer, took a bit of a side quest at some point and ended up being hours of diagnosing why Warzone doesn't run properly. So ultimately, you saw us swap out all sorts of hardware. We started with the SSD and moving the Warzone install from the hard drive to the SSD. That made a big difference in loading in and stuff. And then we started swapping out components individually, CPU, GPU, we tried more RAM, but ultimately it was that BIOS update, taking it from that 2020 version BIOS up to the one that was just released recently about a month ago. Made a massive difference to the way the system can actually access the CPU and got more utilization out of everything, really boosting the frame rates in Warzone. So, well, what do you think? This is your PC. How did it turn out?
Turned out unreal. I love the case. Everything is as I expected it to be. It's just clean. It's not full of drywall. It's great. Not having any more issues in games, which is big.
And also only having one drive now to install all your games, not having to worry about dealing with what games are on what drive. Is it on the fast drive? Is it on the slow drive? Are you sad that you didn't have the first forward hand in building this whole thing, or?
No, I'm not, because it's just a lot easier to stand back and watch you do your magic.
Yeah, you did get some good hands-on with some component swapping, and you did disassemble the drywall box that you brought here.
So Kyle, what do you think of this height case?
Well, I've never built in a height product. I've never built in this case. I've never even seen this case in person. But I will say, once being hands-on with it, like right in front of me, it is way nicer than just seeing like reviews and stuff online. Surprisingly, there's not as much cable management area as I thought there might be. Either that or Corsair's just plagued us with 19 million cables for all their QL and LL fans that we used in this build, and 2 controllers plus the cable extensions. So the back did get pretty full. However, the rest of the build is super straightforward, and you can really tell that this thing would be sweet to do a custom water cooling loop in as well. There's a ton of radiator support, but overall, like, it just went together super easy, and it's like you don't have to be a genius to get a super clean build in this case. So those are all really good features that I liked about it. So after all said and done, what did we end up with in this case? Basically, we got the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X 3D, pretty much the best gaming CPU you can get for the AM4 platform. Tyler did bring his own Asus Strix B550 F Gaming Wi-Fi motherboard, so we could just drop that CPU in. He's reusing his Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM, 16 gigabytes. You can always upgrade that later if you wanted to. It seems fine for now. He did get the white edition RTX 3090 Strix card from Asus. Just a super beautiful card, really nice lighting, really clean, matches the build super well. He also opted to get some cable combs just to kind of bring the aesthetic together a little bit more. For CPU cooling, we have the H100i Capellix Elite from Corsair, and I think that pretty much sums it up. Height Y60 case, if you couldn't tell already. For power supply, we ended up not really feeling comfortable reusing his CX750M by Corsair, just probably not really adequate for a super high-powered gaming rig. So he did end up getting the Corsair RM1000X.
All right, so are we done here? Like, I'd like to take this home, you know?
Yeah, you want to play games on this thing or something?
Something like that, yeah.
I guess.
No, I just surfed the web with a 3090.
So I think that about wraps up another video. If you like this video, guys, you know what to do. Press the like button. Get subscribed to see more videos like this, and we'll do something different in the next video.